Now on CoastTV News.
Charter school could close.
We have a very small population of students.
The Bryan Allen Stevenson School under state scrutiny.
Rental rules change.
This is definitely going to be a sigh of relief.
The big win for short-term rentals.
Right now, we're bracing for a few scattered showers, but the question is, will there be snow over the weekend?
This is CoastTV News at 6.
The charter for this Georgetown school in question. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. Our top story tonight is the Bryan Allen Stevenson School of Excellence in danger of having to close its doors.
The Bryan Allen Stevenson School is named after civil rights lawyer Bryan Stevenson, who grew up in Milton. The school currently has 119 6th through 9th graders and open for just 2 years. But now the Delaware Department of Education says the school isn't meeting state standards. CoastTV News reporter Brandon Ferguson live there in Georgetown. Brandon, the Department of Education says the Bryan Allen Stevenson School doesn't have enough money, students, or participation in state tests.
Maddie, the Delaware Department of Education started a formal review of the Bryan Allen Stevenson School 2 months ago and recommends closing the school. But I spoke with its leaders today who say a lot of what they're dealing with now goes back to former leadership, and they've done a, quote, hard reset over the past year. And they're confident they can address state concerns and get enough students to stay open.
According to a State Department of Education report from January, the Bryan Allen Stevenson School of Excellence is 85 students under projected numbers. The Education Committee says enrollment is just one reason for recommending to revoke the school's charter. Chantel Ashford, head of school for the Bryan Allen Stevenson School, says it takes 3 to 5 years for charter schools to be solid. And they're only 2 years old. She also says it's hard to get the word out here.
In my experience in recruiting students here in Sussex County, our families are not all familiar with charter schools, right? We only have 2 charter schools in Sussex County.
The state committee claims not enough students in the school tested, falling short of the state's 95% threshold. Ashford says that's because of students leaving the school.
When you have a very small population of students, and we started the year off with 208 students last year. We ended the school year around 150 students. So there was a lot of attrition. And so you have to account for that attrition in the testing data.
This report says the school's budget submitted appears to overstate anticipated revenues. But the school tells CoastTV it has clear, quote, fiscal control.
We don't have any situation at this point in time where there are vendors who are not paid.
District 20 Representative Alana Berry is the founder of the school. That was part of her campaign, seen here. Berry declined to comment today. The school says most of their parents are planning to return next school year, but if the school does close, Delaware Department of Education gives a grace period to families to give students time to find a new school.
A public hearing on the possible charter revocation is scheduled for March 9th at the Georgetown Del Tech campus. The Department of Education committee said it struggled to reach members of the school during reviews, and today the school put a lot of blame on the past head of school and says current leadership has done everything the right way. Live in Georgetown, Brandon Ferguson, CoastTV News.
If you don't know who Bryan Stevenson is, he's a nationally known civil rights attorney. He was born in Milton. He's best known for founding the Equal Justice Initiative in Alabama, where Stevenson has spent decades fighting wrongful convictions and excessive sentencing. His work is chronicled in the best-selling book Just Mercy, which was later adapted into a major movie featuring Michael B. Jordan. Years ago, our company went to the initiative in Montgomery, Alabama. We sat down with Stevenson, who told us growing up in Sussex County shaped much of the work he does today.
I remember when the lawyers came into our community and made them open up the public schools for black kids, and it planted a seed about the power of the law. I knew, frankly, that if it was left to a vote, you wouldn't have gotten a majority of people to vote to end racial segregation in Sussex County on the peninsula.
One of Stevenson's famous quotes is that each of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done, and that you have to be proximate and up close to something to understand it. The Bryan Allen Stevenson School of Excellence says it is those philosophies and more that inform their mission. As for what's happening right now at the school, one board member tells CoastTV that Bryan Stevenson is aware of what's going on now and is confident the school will be able to stay open and be successful for years to come.
In Ocean City, homeowners in certain neighborhoods were not allowed to apply for licenses after town council enacted a moratorium. But over 1,000 people signed a petition wanting to overturn that moratorium, and now they've won. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City. Kevin, unlike previous petitions, this one will not lead to a referendum.
Charlie, that's because the council agreed to rescind the moratorium ordinance altogether. And realtors we spoke with today say they were happy to hear the news, with John McGaffin saying his clients are happy council lifted its moratorium on short-term rentals. Terry Miller and her team, who submitted the petition, told CoastTV they were pleased with the outcome Tuesday and hope the mayor and council will leave rentals alone. Terry McGeehan, the Ocean City manager, says after the pushback, the council plans not to introduce any new rental restrictions.
Right now, their feeling is let's strictly enforce what's on the books and hope that everything works out, that we don't see a recurrence of some of the problems that I think some saw in the R1 and the MH communities in the past.
Now, this outcome was different compared to last year, where that petition on different rental rules went to a special election, and voters ultimately overturned the council's minimum length of stay rules. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
Staying in Ocean City, a special election to fill the vacant council seat previously held by Tony DeLuca is set to take place April 21st. DeLuca resigned from council following debate over whether he met Ocean City's residency requirements. DeLuca says the decision to step down was driven by family priorities. And let's take a live look outside into Ocean City. Our first alert, Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has a closer look at our forecast.
So what we're looking at right now, we've had some dense fog and looks like we're going to have even more extended concerns for dense fog in just a moment. We had a new advisory that's just been issued a few moments ago. We are watching out for a sprinkle or two, and I do mean just a spritz, okay, for Ocean City up until about 8 o'clock, and that's a maybe at best. Now, we are much, much warmer. We are 20 degrees warmer now than we were 24 hours ago in Ocean City, 24 degrees warmer in Wallops Island, and 14 degrees warmer than Georgetown. We had a high 57 in Georgetown, 60 in Salisbury, 59 in Ocean City. Here's the new warning, or advisory, pardon me. We have a new dense fog and marine advisory for Slaughter Beach, Broad Hill Beach, as well as Lewis Beach. Now, this also goes around the corner, so to speak, and it includes Rehoboth, Ocean View, and Fenwick Island. So we're looking at dense fog likely for us going into tomorrow morning. Coming up, we'll talk about that talk or that verbiage about possible snow over the weekend. I'll clarify all that rumor stuff.
The Olympics are only airing here on CoastTV, and we are keeping track of the medal count. Norway has dominated the entire games, still on the top with 33. Italy, though, the best showing they've ever had at a Winter Olympics and on home turf. USA in third, 24 medals altogether.
This brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know what makes the Winter Olympics most exciting to you.
Let's take a look at the updated results. 54% say Team USA wins. 23% say close finishes, 13% say underdog stories, that was my vote actually, and 10% say breaking records.
What I like is if we can combine all four of these, right? A Team USA win in a close finish
with an
from an underdog guy and breaking records. I want them all. We do have a comment from Chris in Milton who says, much more interesting when it's competitive.
And we did just see that in the hockey game that was right before this broadcast. And if you haven't voted yet, still do that, coasttv.com or our mobile app, and we'll update you at 11. And don't forget the Winter Olympics are airing here through the 22nd, only on CoastTV. And due to the Winter Olympics from February 9th until the 20th, Friday, you can watch Jeopardy on our sister station, Fox 21. Same time, same show, just a different channel while the games are on.
We now know the cause of a house explosion in Dagsboro back on September 30th, 2025. The Delaware Office of the State Fire Marshal says the explosion was accidental and involved liquefied petroleum gas with no indication of criminal activity. The explosion left one person dead and caused minor injuries to a second person who was inside the home at the time.
New at 6, Christiana Care, Bay Health, and the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine have announced a new partnership. The hospitals say a new campus will increase undergraduate opportunities with hopes to attract more physicians to practice in Kent and Sussex counties. We break this partnership down a little bit more right now on CoastTV.com. We have more news to get to this evening.
Tonight in sports, the Maryland Eastern Shore men's volleyball team trying to finish non-conference play in a strong way. Why tonight's matchup is key.
Not only are we concerned about a bit of dense fog, but we could see some scattered showers as well.
But first, plans to build affordable housing on this land in motion. How many units you can expect to see in Georgetown when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Today in Georgetown, a groundbreaking ceremony for an affordable housing project.
This on Savannah Road, the Delaware State Housing Authority is building 108 apartments.
Coast TV News' Christina D. Robertus is in our newsroom. Christina, some of those apartments will go for below market rate.
Yeah, Maddie, that's thanks to a $2 million loan agreement with the Delaware State Housing Authority, and it will take months to build this development up, but everyone involved says it's going to make a real difference for housing needs. Shovels are in the dirt in Georgetown, but the Delaware State Housing Authority says it's more than just another construction site. On Savannah Road, developers broke ground on what they hope will ease some of the housing pressure families are facing.
We're looking at housing supply as a problem across the state. It's a problem across the country.
Matthew Heckles, director of the Delaware State Housing Authority, says the new units are meant to respond to a growing affordability gap.
The average home in Delaware is selling for $370,000 or more. So there just isn't enough high quality, affordable housing available for people making $56,000, which is a legislator's salary and is a salary that a lot of families aren't bringing into their homes every month.
A $2 million grant will allow some of the apartments here to be rented below market rate, but developer Michael Scully says affordable doesn't mean cutting corners.
One of the buildings that you see here on the sign, there's a pool, and then incorporated within one of the buildings is a community space. We'll have a fully outfitted gym for the residents to use free of charge. And community space if you needed to have a party. It's not just the luxury folks that get to have a pool and a clubhouse. And
construction is now underway with the goal of creating housing that more Delaware families can actually afford to call home. Now, developers tell us the rent prices are not set in stone yet, but they're estimating some of those one-bedroom apartments will be less than $1,000 per month. We'll be right back.
Today was unusually warm, not necessarily a record breaker or anything like that, but wasn't it a nice change of pace to walk outside and not need a coat? You might have wanted a coat, but you didn't necessarily need one, unless you're real sensitive to the chill of the air. Now, we're at 56 degrees, even right now as we speak, which isn't half bad at all. Remember, 48 is the norm for this time of the year. Now, we may catch a random sprinkle up until about 7 o'clock at Ocean View. Aside from that, we're looking pretty clear and pretty quiet for the rest of the evening. We had a chance of an outside passing sprinkle or two, but that's been allowed to expire, and we have dense fog now being reactivated along the coast for us. Basically, it's a marine one, dealing with just over the water for, the beaches, Fenwick Island, Ocean View, Rehoboth Beach, and Lewis, and it also includes Broadkill Beach as well as Slaughter Beach and then South Bowers, where we have the visibility cutting down to about a quarter of a mile to half a mile, even kind of worse than that. We do have some scattered showers just still making its way to the most southern portions of our viewing area, and this is warm front-inspired spotty shower activity. Not expecting it to become stormy or anything like that, but it'll be just enough to make the streets wet. But here's the catch. It's a beautiful thing when it rains and it's not freezing. So we don't have to worry about adding any ice on any of the roads. So that helps out. Overnight, we're going to drop into the 40s. And our future fog, we're looking at some dense fog that's going to continue to dance around and stick around for us even going into Thursday evening. So we're in that cycle of an abundance of moisture that's hovering a little bit lower to the ground, and that's going to be the case for us. Even for Thursday afternoon, we're looking for more widespread scattered showers for Thursday afternoon about 4:30. Then after that 4:30, we may see some a brief heavy shower, then it skedaddles out of here pretty quickly. And we're looking for the same general pattern for Friday. So, we're looking at rain for Thursday and Friday, not so much Saturday. Sunday going into Monday, we can see it go from rain transitioning to snow. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. We have a backdoor cold front pushing through. Okay, that means instead of coming out of the northwest, it's coming out of the northeast. So that's why we call it backdoor cold front. But we have that surge of 60s coming out of the south for Thursday. So these two air masses are going to get along like the Hatfields and the McCoys. They're going to go at it. And when they do that, that'll create scattered showers in our neck of the woods. So here's the result of that. We have that low that's going to be right here. You can see the circulation, but it's all in the form of rain. Remember, the green is the rain. It pulls out of the way, so I'm not concerned about rain on Friday. Saturday, and then Sunday, we have a little bit of a chance of snow developing, but the latest model's indicating it's going to be over in D.C. and kind of go around and avoid us here in Delmarva. It depends on the path. Now, one path, it's a little bit closer, the American and this GEM, although it doesn't make sense. It's the Canadian model. That brings it a little closer to us for a chance of snow. But the European model swings the low out a little bit more out towards the water, which means it'll totally miss us. So that's why we're not overly excited about the chance of snow. We just want to make you a little aware it's a possibility. That being said, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies for tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy, early, showers, spotty showers likely, particularly after lunchtime with the winds out of the east. Then for Friday, overcast conditions, scattered showers, and 49. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Yeah, we're putting that snow in there for Monday just in case, because even if it does snow on Monday, it's going to quit by the time the sun comes up.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, Delmarva. Happy Hump Day. We are halfway to the weekend, and the UMES men's volleyball team is trying to get over the hump in their non-conference schedule right now on the Delmarva Sports Network. After a 4-set loss to Central State University on Valentine's Day, the Hawks have now lost 3 of their last 4 matches, but they still have an 8-5 record on the year, the inaugural season for this team, and they now face Roberts Wesleyan University today and tomorrow at home. The Red Hawks of Roberts Wesleyan have been on a tear of late, though, winning 4 straight matches, with 3 of those coming in straight sets. The match started at 6 o'clock, so you can switch over to DSN now if you want to catch the rest of the match with Tyler Aiken. And if you missed our Blue Gold selection show earlier, don't worry, you can still tune in to the final score tonight to find out which Delaware High School basketball stars made the All-Star game. And before the final score, you can check out DSN Plus and DSN at 8 o'clock if you want to watch a full rerun of our selection show. Remember, you can only watch the Blue Gold selection show on the Delmarva Sports Network. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
In Salisbury right now, the streets are a little bit clear for us, but we are picking up on a little bit of dense fog. Now we have a newly reissued dense fog advisory from Fenwick Island, Ocean View up towards Rehoboth Beach, Lewis, Broadkill, Slaughter Beach. Visibility dropping down to near zilch in some areas, particularly over the water. We'll keep a close eye on tracking the scattered light shower that's pushing across the most southern portions of the peninsula. Eileen Strauss of Millsboro, congratulations, you're our umbrella winner, courtesy of Paul Davis, property restoration experts. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Now, we're going to have a chance of a passing shower here or there, everywhere, so beware. Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday night, we'll go from rain to a little bit of snow. And I'm talking about just a little bit.
We'll take a little bit. Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
Thanks for that turn of phrase, Paul. I liked it. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.